Okay, this first song will be an example of a simile. Now remember, a simile uses the words like or as to compare one object or idea with another to suggest that they are alike. So let's take a listen and listen to a simile from a pop song.
I don't need to try to control you. Look into my eyes and I'll own you with them moves like Jagger. I've got them moves like Jagger. I've got them moves.
So you heard there that he has the moves like Jagger, right? So in other words, the way that he dances is like somebody named Jagger, Mick Jagger. So he used the word like to make it a simile, comparing two things to each other. Okay, here's an example of a metaphor. Now remember, a metaphor states a fact or draws a verbal picture by the use of comparing two things. So a simile would say you are like something, but a metaphor is more positive. It says you are something. So let's take a listen to a metaphor in this song. Okay, so in this song he said that he's a needle in a haystack. He doesn't say he's like a needle in a haystack. He says he is a needle in a haystack. But we know because this is figurative language that he doesn't actually mean he's an actual needle in an actual haystack. Okay, let's look at an example of personification. Personification, remember, is a figure of speech in which human characteristics are given to an animal or an object.
The sun will set for you, and the shadow of the day will embrace the world in gray, and the sun will set for you.
Okay, so in this song we heard, and the shadow of the day will embrace the world in gray, and the sun will set for you. So the shadow of the day will embrace, like give a hug, to the world in gray. Now we know it's not actually giving a hug because this is figurative language, and this is personification, right? The shadow of the day can't actually embrace anything, but it's giving a human characteristic. Okay, let's look at an example of hyperbole in a pop song. Remember, hyperbole is an exaggeration that is so dramatic that no one would believe the statement is true.
My world is an empty place, like I've been wandering the desert for 1,000 days.
Okay, so in this song, she compares being without someone for a day to wandering in the desert for 1,000 days. So it's an extreme exaggeration. It's a hyperbole. Okay, let's listen to an example of onomatopoeia in a pop song. Remember, onomatopoeia is the use of a word to describe or imitate a natural sound or the sound made by an object or an action. Let's take a listen.
I got that boom boom, how to beat bang. I like that boom boom pow, them chickens.
Okay, so in this song we heard boom boom pow. So that is kind of to simulate the sounds of a hip-hop song or a rap song, right? It doesn't actually say boom boom pow, but it kind of sounds like it, right? So that's onomatopoeia. Now let's look at an example of alliteration. Remember, alliteration is the repetition of the same initial letter, so the same first sound or letter or groups of sounds in a series of words, in this case a song. Okay, so in that song, Rockin' Robin, we heard a lot of R's, right? We heard rockin', robin, rock, we heard lots of R's. And the repetition of that same letter or the same sound is alliteration, let's remember. Okay, now let's look at an idiom in a pop song. Remember, idioms are phrases that have meanings that can't be figured out by looking up those words in a dictionary. They wouldn't make any sense. So you have to know the context.
Since I've become a shooting star, I've been wondering where you are. Seems like you're forever in a getaway.
Okay, so we heard in this song that she's a shooting star. Now, it doesn't mean she's actually a star flying through the universe, right? It's figurative language. It's an idiom. What it actually means is that she's risen to fame really fast, right? But looking up those words in the dictionary wouldn't help us, so we have to know what the phrase is.